Hey everybody, welcome to this super late model race here at Concord. I know a lot of you wanted to see another one of these races, and I didn't want to do another one at Thompson because I didn't think anybody would want to see another race of the same track with mostly the same people, but yeah, we're here at Concord. Not a very popular track, but it's a very difficult track to drive. Definitely a driver's track, a very fun, high-banked half-mile. It's a lot of fun to drive, and really, we need a lot more participation for this track in this series, really. It's going to be a pretty wild race, I think. Yeah, starting on pole. I figured why not. And I said heck to it and qualified and put it on pole by a pretty decent margin, it seems like. Yeah, I love this track. Very rough surface, very uniquely shaped half mile, not 1 mile. I was about to say mile and a half, actually, but it's obviously not a mile and a half. A very unique half mile track. It's very difficult. It has that stigma around it. It's like the Virginia International Raceway of short track ovals on iRacing. Nobody wants to drive it because it's just that difficult. But I'm driving it, and I'm going to win it. I don't know about that as a fact, but that's what I'm going to try to do. I actually won the last super late model race I did at Thompson. It was my first win in this car. I think I can back it up with another one.
Good job, man. Give those belts another tug
So let's do it.
Pace cars off.
I'm going to try and get straight here.
Green flag.
I didn't want to gas it up around the turn, but here we go. 90 laps around this little half-mile track. Once again, real loose on cold tires. Got to wait a couple laps for it to heat the tires up. Can't push too hard before then. Got to be real smooth here at this track. It's all about being smooth here. And there we go.
Awesome, I just
I don't know where your mic is, but we do have a little bit of trouble hearing you under green.
Well, last race we didn't have any cautions, and now we got 1 and 2 laps, so...
Line up behind the pace car. Should be starting behind it.
Alright.
Very true, but that was kind of fun. They both spun out and I went right
Alright,
between
looks
them.
like it's going to be lining up behind
I guess we'll see you at the restart. Alright, we're all ready to try this again. Maybe we can get more than 2 laps in this time. Tire's still pretty cold, so we gotta treat it like it was the beginning of the race here.
Boss man, go do your thing.
Once again, just gonna wait to get straight here. And there we go. Relatively straight anyway, alright. Let's try and settle into a groove here. Car's really unstable on the back straightaway turn 2. But you gotta pin the throttle there. You just have to. Car gets real light in that section of the track. Car gets very tight here, I noticed too. I've played with the setup a lot, trying to find the best ride heights. It's very hard to set up for this track because it's just so rough, and even with like very high ride heights, the car will bottom out on the rear end. So it's not the easiest place to set up for. This track is almost like driving a road course, in my opinion. It just requires that rhythm out of you, in my opinion. And every corner is completely different from the other corner. Oh boy, we got a spin already, it looks like. Don't know where he is. Yeah, I'm just taking it easy right now. Trying to keep it out of the wall, trying to just be smooth. It's very hard to be completely smooth here. And I just can't get it turned down as much as I want it to down in turn 3 for some reason. Gotta use a lot of brake here in turn 1 and turn 3 here at Concord. More so in turn 3, obviously. It's a much tighter corner, but turn 1 you gotta use plenty of brake too. So this was the first track I actually ran the super late model at, and it was also the first race I ever did in the super late model. That's not what I meant to say. I meant to say this was that was the first time I ever ran this track, and this is only the second time I've ever ran this track too. So, not a ton of experience here at Concord on my end, but we're doing okay, it looks like. And it looks like Mike's getting through the traffic a little better than I am. I see he cut just a little bit of time into me while I was passing that lapper. Tires feel pretty good now. But yeah, doing consistent laps, not much fall off once again this week. Just gotta be smooth every lap. Can't just push it every lap. That's not really gonna work with this car. That's how I won my my one race at Thompson.
Outside.
Because the other guy was leading. It was that guy Kenneth.
Clear.
From my video, and he was leading, and he was just pushing a little too hard and got loose out of turn 2 at Thompson and spun himself and wrecked himself, and I had no other real challengers in that race, so I won. This is definitely not a car you want to overdrive regardless of the tire situation. But it's very hard to be consistent at this track and in this car. It really shouldn't be a C car in my opinion. I think it should be a Class B car. It is that tough in my opinion. It's as tough as a Gen 6 in my opinion. And like I said in the other video, I have a lot of very good drivers who really just focus on this car, or like this car and the late model stock car, which is the Class D late model, who are really very good at this kind of racing, who have no desire to run the NASCAR iRacing series or become a pro driver, who are just very good at this kind of racing and enjoy it, and they're good at it. And I can see why. It takes so much skill just to get these cars around these tracks.
Slow cars in front of you.
Where are you?
Track, man. Going slow. There will be a caution.
Oh boy.
Pits are closed. I'm going to be behind the 12.
Yeah, we got a wide range of skill levels in this race, as it typically tends to be in this race because there's no splits. Pace cars in turn 2.
Pit road is open.
Alright, so I guess we'll see you for the restart. Alright, we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here at Concord once again. Still haven't really been challenged for the lead yet. That could change though.
Coming to the green.
You know, everybody's on warm tires now, so everybody should be at their regular pace, that is. trying to mix up the starts a little bit here, going at different intervals. A nice clean getaway, I think. So I do have some bad news to go along with the good news of me winning a race at Thompson, though. Unfortunately, I had my first DNF in all of iRacing since April. And normally I would cut this part out, but since I was already telling the story, I think I'll go ahead and tell the rest of it.
Looks like you'll be lining up behind the pace car. Open! You're going to be lining up behind the pace car.
Pace car's in turn 3.
You're going to have to come around at 1.
Anyway. So, like I was saying, yeah, it was the dumbest reason for a DNF ever, and it's pretty embarrassing.
12.
Got the lucky dog.
Yeah.
Let them by.
Oh, shut up, spotter. What happened was, I was running second for most of the race, but we got a bunch of cautions in a row. I knew I was slower than the leader. So I had the brilliant idea of trying to burn up more fuel under caution by running in first gear under caution the entire time and revving it up to like 6,000 RPM under caution. Well, we had like 5 cautions in a row. Yeah, I know, after that Thompson race in the video where we went caution-free for the entirety of the race, we had 5 cautions in a row in the next race. And all of a sudden, my engine blows. And I didn't even realize it until after I looked at the replay, but I had pegged the oil temperature up to like 300 degrees by running it in first gear under caution for all of those laps. So that was not good on my part. That was one of the dumbest reasons I've ever failed to finish a race, in my opinion. But I ended a good streak of about 24 or 25 races in a row that I had finished, but no, we're here to restart that streak and maybe go on even longer. I think the most races I've ever finished in a row was like 40 or 42 or something like that. So I want to improve on that number for sure, and we're going to continue to do that here. And hopefully we can contribute to the next streak with this video. Although we've been okay so far.
We're going to be starting on the inside.
We haven't really been in any trouble despite the people around us being in trouble. So here we go again. Oh, the voice chat was on the whole time. Very quiet on voice chat in this race tonight. I was going to say in this thing, which doesn't really make sense. Alright, here we go.
Green flag.
Another good jump on the field. A bit free there. I wonder if the tires cooled down a lot there. Maybe I should be swerving a little bit to try and keep a little bit of heat in those tires before we go to green. Alright, I think I got this corner down pat now, that is. Feels real stable through turn 2 now, that's a good sign. But smoke is, of course, not a good sign. I would hate to be involved in an accident while leading the race. 67's a pretty good lap in race trim, I think. Obviously, I think we could be a little faster if I wasn't taking it easy. But you know, I don't really have much of a reason to push. Oh boy.
Okay, whatever, our backup channel. Make sure everybody's on it, can hear me.
Alright. Let's see if we can find the pace car here.
Starting behind the pace car.
You disappeared a couple times there. Hey.
Alright, we'll see you for the restart. Alright, well, let's try this one more time. I don't know how far we'll make it this time, but hopefully we'll get a nice long green flag run to end this race. I think I'm going to shake it up a little bit on the restart here. I'm going to go as soon as the pace car ducks off.
Do you understand what you got? Do our thing, boss man. Are you ready? Green flag, green flag.
There we go. Somebody on, I think my Road America video told me that, you jumped the start, man. Not cool, bro. But here's the thing. There's no such thing as a restart zone in iRacing. You can go as soon as the pace car ducks off. So it's not illegal to go that early. Yeah, it might not be the most ethical thing to do, quote unquote. I mean, it's a video game. But you know what? It's completely fair, and you're completely within your own right to do it if you want. You don't have to wait till the green flag comes out. You can go as soon as the pace car ducks off. And remember, it's a generalized set of rules. It's not like there's NASCAR-specific rules or anything, and we get another caution.
The fuck is the caution for? I don't know.
It's for people who can't drive.
Really?
Behind the pace car. The road is open. Come around in one.
Alright, we'll see you for the restart.
Pace car.
Alright, we'll try this once again. Don't know how many laps we'll get in this time, but we'll try to drive away from these guys once again.
Alright, big girl.
So we gotta do something a little different
Go in the right
here.
direction.
Try and go in the corner this
Pace
time.
car's off. Be ready.
There we go.
Green flag.
And finally, on a restart, the car feels nice and stable through turn 2. It's a pretty good lap, too. Like I said, there's not much fall off with this tire. That may change for the next build, but I wouldn't hold my breath on it. I mean, the thing you have to remember too is, like, it's a constant work in progress. If they stop working on it, then it's done. iRacing might as well shut down, because it's like, I see people all the time on the forums, they're like, why don't they just finish it? I think that would be the worst thing iRacing could do, is just to say, hey, we're finished. Hey, we got it right. We got it perfect. Now we're finished. But it's never going to be perfect. There's only so much you can do, and it should always be a constant work in progress, because racing is always changing in the real world as well as iRacing. So to say, oh, you should just fix it, it should be done, it's kind of... It doesn't really make much sense to me. Running pretty good laps here. Just trying to settle into a groove to finish this thing out. Just treating every corner like it has its own apex. It's not really something you really talk about when you drive ovals, but I think on this track it fits pretty well to call the center of the corner an apex. Because every corner is different, like I said, so you don't drive the same every lap, every corner rather. You tackle each corner one at a time, really, and do your best every time. Try to keep it smooth and consistent. being pretty consistent right now, I'd say. Yeah, not much left to go now. Starting to catch up to some lappers. Hopefully they won't cause me any problems here. Uh-oh.
Low in front of you on the bottom. Stay up top, man.
No caution. Okay. Well, I guess technically it was on the apron, so that would be why there would have been no caution there. I'm sure if he comes up the track, though, there will be a caution, and I don't see him anymore. So we're all good here.
Slowing on the bottom.
Oh boy. That's never a good sign when there's a car up on the wall there.
You're going to be lining up behind the 10.
Yeah. Pace cars at turn 3.
You're be lining up behind the pace car.
Lower.
What the hell? Was my voice chat muted there? Well, whatever. We'll see it for the restart. Alright, less than 10 to go now.
Make sure you got your switches where you need them.
So let's get this thing underway.
Alright, boss man, pace car's off.
The spotter was running his mouth a bit there, and I couldn't talk even though I wanted to reintroduce the scene. I couldn't hear myself talk for a second, so that's why it was a little later than normal. Damn you, Chad Knaus. Alright. Well, we can settle into a groove here to finish this thing out. A lot of cautions in this race. A lot of, should I say, not so skilled drivers, but we haven't really been involved in any trouble. It's not really a big deal.
To go this time.
5 laps here is about a minute and 15 seconds or so. Really not that long at all. Please stay on the apron, please. I don't know why a guy who's smoking that badly has to come back up on the track. Seems like you would want to, you know, fix your car. Or whatever. And then he's off in the pits, so no worries.
Yeah.
2 more, let's go.
Alright, well we can pretty much just cruise from here. "15 more seconds to a victory."
Okay, give me one good lap, we'll be spraying some champagne.
There we go. 2 wins in a row for me, but the first that you have seen, so whoopee. Yes.
Good win.
Good job, guys.
Thank you, Dustin.
Shit, you kidding me? That was awesome, fellas.
Hey, good one,
Awesome
man.
job. Nice work this weekend, everybody. Good
Thank you,
job.
sir.
Drove your butt off. Really proud of you, man.
Always fun to
This
race with
place
good
is funny,
competition. Alright. Well, now I can do some burnouts for you guys. I did them in the last race too, but obviously you didn't see them. Yahoo! It's always fun to race this car. I really enjoy racing this car. We just need some better tire fall off, and I think it'll be absolutely perfect. I mean, I like the dynamics of the handling of this car. I love the very good power to weight ratio. It's such a fun car to drive, and I enjoy driving it. Lots of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll go back to the start-finish line there so we can show you the rest of these. Got the all-black car. I'm really digging the flat black lately. I think it looks really cool as of late. I think I'm going to run that on every car that's not my Gen 6 from now on. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to race this car. If you haven't tried it and you like oval racing, you should definitely consider giving it a try. It's such an awesome car. And it's sad that a car that's this much fun has such low participation, but it's definitely worth giving a shot if you're interested in this style of racing. I hope I did a good job of conveying that to you guys, but yeah. So the next race will be NASCAR iRacing Series at Indy. I know the Indy 500 is this weekend, but I'm visiting family. I can't run that race, and even if I could do it, I'd embarrass myself because I'm terrible in open wheel cars. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you next week. Alright, take care, guys. Bye.